Здравствуйте, уважаемые участники международного проекта «Русский язык в Африке. Дорогой дружбы и сотрудничества». Меня зовут Марина Богданова, я куратор проекта. Я приветствую вас из Санкт-Петербурга, из центра «Альфа-Диалог» на третьей встрече культурно-просветительского цикла «Россия, Африка. Межкультурный диалог». Наш проект проводится Центром дополнительного профессионального образования «Альфа-Диалог» при поддержке Министерства просвещения Российской Федерации. Сегодня мы будем говорить об образовании в России, о том, какие возможности есть для студентов из Африки для обучения в России. И я рада приветствовать нашего гостя, нашего спикера Юрия Викторовича Копылова, директора департамента международного сотрудничества Государственного института русского языка имени Пушкина. Уважаемый Юрий Викторович, здравствуйте, рада приветствовать вас. Передаю вам слово.
Добрый день. Еще раз я перейду на английский язык и тогда уже продолжу. Well, I'll shift to the English language. Good afternoon, dear friends. I'm very glad to see you all here. And the fact that you are here at our webinar is a sort of proof for your interest in education in Russia. I will speak English because it is the only foreign language I know. I'm sorry that I know that Africa is mostly French speaking, yet whatever it is, we will try to build our communication in English. Any objections? No objections. So let's get down to our work. All right, while talking about the education in Russia, we should bear it in mind that there are two principal ways of getting your education. It is the tuition free and tuition paid. These are two basic things. Certainly, most of you are interested in tuition free education that is financed by the Russian government. You know that nowadays, the Russian government finances 30,000 places or seats for foreign students to study in Russia. 30,000 for all over the world. Each country, perhaps almost each country in the world, has its own quota. And the number of students that can apply for tuition-free education for the Russian government funds is limited for each country, and each country has its own quota, and it's usually the quotas are not the same and differs from country to country. Yet what you should do is just to understand that you have an opportunity to get this quota. You have an opportunity to be entitled for tuition-free education financed by the Russian government. Just the thing is that you should make certain steps and to avoid certain mistakes, which we'll be talking about today. But what you should bear in mind? You should bear in mind the fact that the tuition-free education does not mean that the Russian government covers all the costs for you. No, so I'm sorry to say. Only tuition cost, and perhaps in most cases the government pays some bursary, which is quite small, but which is quite enough to cover your living cost in the dormitory of the university you are a student of. First, I will demonstrate, I will show during our talk, I will show you the website of the Russian portal which is the only way, the principal way to get your way through to tuition-free education in Russia. So let's start. This is the website, official website of Россотрудничества. It is the organization of the Russian Federation which is responsible or in charge of recruiting students from all over the world for Russian universities for tuition-free education. I advise you, I highly advise you just to remember the URL address in which you could apply all by yourself at any time you wish. I would like to show that this web portal or website is multilingual. You may choose whichever from this list of languages, the one that is more suitable for you. It is French, just a moment, or Portuguese, Espanol, etc., etc. But let's shift on to the English language, which is more convenient for me. English, yeah, that's it. First, it is the front or main page of this portal you are to go to do things that are necessary. Well, there are several steps. There are only 4 steps that you should do. It is just to select a program and up to 6 universities in which to apply for. Fill out your online application, etc., etc. These steps are indicated there. The steps are indicated on the front page. But what is the first thing for you to do? It is just to register in this website. While going on the registration, you should fill in a certain form and when you have done it, you will receive the confirmation with some specification I don't happen to know in particular. And then you go on to your page, to your profile, and on this page, you may find all these links, bookmarks, what to do. Well, the first thing that is necessary to do for you is just to choose the universities and the programs and courses that you are going to apply for. This is the interface that you are to deal with. It is quite easy to go on. You may choose, or you may select your favorite programs, select your universities according to districts, to cities, to educational levels, master's degree, postgraduate, etc., etc. Fields of study. According to the ranking of the universities, the particular fields of studies, etc. You may find particular university if it is necessary. For instance, printing or typing the name of the university in here. For instance, my university is Pushkin University. And here you may find all the programs that are offered by this particular university. It may be any of them. And while filling in the form, you should choose the program and for each program, you may find or you may choose 6 universities in your list, and you should rank them from up down, where the upper university will be your most favorite one, and then according to your preferences. When the form is filled, you should, by the way, I'd like to warn you, or I'd like to say that the time period for applying is quite limited, and I should say that the admission company or the company, a recruiting company for applying for universities has already started. It started on the 1st of September. It may the period of continuation of this campaign is different from year to year and from country to country. Generally, it is usually said that the campaign is to be finished by the first of by February, but sometimes it is prolonged. Last year it was sometimes March, sometimes April, but it depends on particular countries. But don't pull your leg, don't waste your time, and try to apply as early as possible. When your application form is filled, just from February, yes, the competition process. From February, the competition process usually starts. And your competition process usually contains interviews in offices of Russian houses or Russian or сотрудничества in your usually in the capitals of your country. It may be again depending upon a country. It may be in online forms. It may be different offline, etc. But usually the admission boards or competition board usually assess your application form, assess the documents that you uploaded in your profile, and assess your assess the level you agree with the requirements of this particular university. And if you have 6 universities upon your list, perhaps the first university can reject your candidate, your profile, but there is another. There are another 5 universities left that can choose you. And then, when your profile is chosen, when you are chosen as a potential student, then you will receive the confirmation from this particular system or this particular website. And our advice is that you visit your website quite regularly in order not to miss the notification that may perhaps not be sent or not be received by email or by other ways of communication, but which is always be in your profile, in your cabinet. Then, what is, well, you may explore all these bookmarks to understand that coming to Russia for studies is not a difficult thing, but you should bear it in mind that there are some specific things that should be followed. First, when coming here, you should understand that if you are a first-year student, if you are enrolled in a university for the first-year studies, you are permitted to find a job here in the country and to perhaps to earn your living in a way. But sometimes it is very difficult, for those who don't know English. Those who don't know Russian, I'm sorry. Certainly, it is very difficult to find a job here. So when coming here, you should think of the money that you are going to live on for at least several months. If you don't know Russian, please, while choosing the education program, please tick in the form the place or what is or the option preparatory courses or preparatory department. It is meant that you should first, before getting your before being enrolled in the university for the first year, as a first-year student, you will you will go through the preparatory courses for a year-long preparatory courses at the university to study Russian enough for getting the education in the Russian language. Abide by the Russian migration regulations very strictly, because if you violate Russian migration regulations, administrative measures and fines, perhaps deportation may loom for those people who violate the laws. Then you should be very, very attentive to your dates, dates of expiration of your passport, dates of expiration of your visa, in order not to miss the periods, miss the time during which it is still possible to take some steps to, for instance, to prolong visa or something else. What else can be said about the tuition-free education? Before getting down to questions that I received in advance, I will say a few words about the second way of getting Russian education. It is the fee-paying education. It is a bit easier. You don't have to go through such an ordeal as competition process, as many things that are quite bureaucratic. This way is a bit simpler. Yet it requires, again, certainly you are to be qualified for getting higher education in Russia. Certainly you have to have a certificate, eligible certificate of secondary education of your country. Sometimes it needs some steps to legalize this document either in your country or just in Russia. Yet fee-paying education usually needs signing a contract with the university and waiting for the invitation from this university. Just one thing, if you go by tuition-free process, the invitation is sent by, or visa instructions or visa processing voucher, so-called, is sent by the Ministry of Higher Education of the Russian Federation. If you choose the option of fee-paying education, the invitation is sent by the university you are going to be enrolled in. It takes quite a lot of time to issue this visa invitation. Usually it takes a month and a half, or sometimes a bit longer. and certainly the best way or the best time to start process of applying for Russian universities in fee-paying basis is June, or June is the best time. What are the requirements for someone to study there? Do you offer bursaries for all the students? Once again, requirements are as follows. You are to be qualified for getting higher education. You are to have your secondary education certificate or document, diploma, whatever it is in your particular country, just to prove that you have the necessary basis for and that you are eligible for getting Russian higher education. As to bursaries, I have said that the Russian government offers 30,000 bursaries for tuition-free places for all over the world. But the Russian government covers only tuition and pay some small sum of money monthly, which is only enough to cover your living cost in dormitory, in a university dormitory. How many years does it take to complete the study in Russia? It depends on the program. If you choose the baccalaureate program, usually it takes 4 years to complete the baccalaureate program. Master's program, it is another 2 years. It depends on the field of, it depends on your major, on your focus. If you are going to major in medicine, for instance, certainly it will take a much longer time. If you are to major in some engineering professions, it might take 5 years at least and more. It depends on particular university, particular program, which you can find in this list, the drop list, when you work with this website, which I have demonstrated to you, and you may find all the details of each program of each university. Can I get scholarship? Well, I have already answered it, that yes, you can, but it covers only the tuition and perhaps the living in a dormitory, but you should remember that, or you should know that the cost of living, all in all, it is the scholarship does not cover. And when you choose the university, when you choose the city where to study, in, you should assess your financial abilities. First of all, you must know that, for instance, you're living and studying in Moscow or St. Petersburg, it is much more expensive than going to some other cities and towns of Russia. And you should be realistic with your financial abilities in this way. And once again, I say that you can find a job in the Russian Federation while studying at a university, but you must be a first or a second, or you must be a student of a university, at least a first-year student. And you, according to the Russian regulations, you may find a job in this case. Well, I want to know what Mozambique, how is it possible for us to work? Well, yes, I have been telling already that, been saying already that certainly Africa is a multilingual country and English is not widespread in Africa. But as I have shown you that you may find multilingual options in this website to choose and to work with the website and to fill your application forms, to choose programs, to choose universities, to read about some details about life of Russia, about getting visas, etc., etc. All the details are given there. Instructions. It is quite a substantial help help for anybody who is going to come to Russia. How can I learn the Russian language? Well, just start learning it. The simplest way to learn Russian is to start learning. Well, is to be serious or to be honest. Certainly, there are several options, or there are several ways. First, you may turn to the Russian House or Россотрудничества offices in your country. There are some courses they usually organize or arrange for local people there. You may find options in online courses, for instance, of Pushkin Institute, which I represent. We have a particular specified educational portal or websites for those who want to learn Russian. Or just if you apply through the website, or through, if you try to find the tuition-free education in Russia through the portal that I've been showing you, you may choose any Russian language program there, and just it's upon your choice. You should remember one thing, that if you wish to go, or just to be enrolled in any educational programs in Russian universities, and you don't know Russian, please don't hide it. You should tick that option, that you need Russian language courses, and you will be, in case you have won the competition, you will be sent to the preparatory courses or preparatory departments, or some, or just in England they are called foundation courses, for a year to study Russian. In order, and after that you will be enrolled in the university that you have chosen to study at. How many years does an individual have to study Russian language before studying main course? Usually it takes a year. A year of studying Russian language before going to the main, or to the educational program of a university. It is just a necessity, because you have to master your Russian language for at least at the level that you should understand whatever is said during the lectures, during the classes in your university. So a year is, sometimes it is enough, but you should remember that it needs hard work from the students to learn the Russian. Are there fully funded scholarship provided by the Russian government? What is meant by the fully funded? As I have already said, if it concerns only tuition, yes, there are 30,000 fully 30,000 scholarship, or 30,000 funded scholarships. As we are talking about, if we talk about fully, I mean, covering cost of living, cost of accommodation, etc., just complete. No, there are no scholarships. They are some, but by intergovernmental agreement, and they're quite rare. For instance, with Cuba, we have some certain agreement under which Cuban students come to Russia, and the Russian government compensates or covers all their expenses there. But I don't happen to know in particular if we have any agreements like this with African countries. Is there a possibility to study masters in English if the specialty is different from linguistics, for example, surgery? Yes, we do have some universities that offer English language master courses at their universities, and you may find this option. You may find this listing while searching the options provided in the website. Are there any scholarship opportunities for Uganda? Well, as to the scholarship, I have already said all I know, that scholarship doesn't mean covering complete cost of living in the country. How do I get full scholarship? The same. How do I get full scholarship quota plus work permit and move my family to Russia? As to work permit, as I have said, that if you are a student, a full student, I mean, first year, second year, third year, fourth year student, or master student, or postgraduate student of a Russian university, you have the right to find a job without any work permit. It depends on the willingness of the employer, if he or she wants to take you, and you don't need to have any additional document for this. You don't have to have a work permit. As to moving families, well, it is a very difficult question, because those who live, who is staying in Russia with a visa, I mean, for foreign citizens, they don't have the right to invite their families. Universities are not usually unwilling to help in this way, because dormitories, the places in dormitories are limited, and it is impossible to invite the student and the family of a student to live in the dormitory. You may have an option. If you are a student of a university, you are eligible for temporary residence permit for the period of studies in Russia, and it means that you have the right to live in any, not in dormitory. You may rent a flat, rent a house in Russia, in the city you study in, and the owner of this flat, of this house, if you can agree to invite your people to your to live with you in Russia. But I wouldn't like to advise you to rely upon this. Just be ready to learn, not to live with your families in Russia. You will have holiday times, holiday periods during which you can go to your country and to see your families. How can I benefit from the master scholarship having second-class law? Well, if you have a degree, baccalaureate degree, certainly you can apply for master program. The principal requirement is that you are to be qualified for this or that level of education. Certainly, baccalaureate degrees give you the right to apply for master's degrees, etc., etc. Certainly, if you have the, as you put it, second class law baccalaureate, just it is up to the university to choose you as its student or to reject. But usually any rejection is reasoned by the university why it rejects your candidature. Do you plan to provide interim sponsorship scholarship to business partners? No, we don't. What is a voucher visa processing? Well, it means just sometimes they are called visa instructions, visa directions, visa guidance, etc., etc. As I have already said, if you are if you have won the competition and got this tuition-free education, the visa instructions or visa voucher will be sent by the Ministry of Higher Education of the Russian Federation to the embassy in your country, and you will get visa there. If you sign contract for fee-paying education with the university, the invitation, so-called invitation for visa, will be sent by the university. Will be arranged by the university and will be sent to you, with which you will come to the embassy and consulate and get your visa. Once again, it may take, and it usually takes quite a time, a month and a half, and sometimes more. Do you plan just which instruction I have? How is it possible for us to work with it because we grew up in a country that speaks Portuguese? Well, when you go to Russia to study, and if you choose the preparatory courses for in the Russian language, it doesn't matter which language is yours. Portuguese, English, French. Well, we will teach you Russian in any case. Concerned with working with the web portal or web site for applying to Russian universities, you may find, as I have said and showed you, you may find multilingual options to whichever you choose, which is convenient for you to work with. If a student can't get a scholarship, tuition fees are usually paid once a year. Well, concerning fee-paying education, certainly when you sign the contract with the university, I should say that the form of the contract is usually standard for Russian universities, and it usually the university demands not the payment for not all the courses, because it is a 4-year course. It is very expensive, but sometimes in most cases it is available to pay from term by term, certainly half price each time. Is it possible to have full scholarship in art and culture? Well, full scholarship. Well, scholarships are available for those 30,000 students who have won the competition and are eligible to get to Russian universities. And this scholarship covers the tuition and sometimes the cost of living in a dormitory. Well, that is all my answers for all your questions that you put there. And I like to hear your questions here, which you have now.
Да, Юрий Викторович, у нас много вопросов есть и в чате. Я бы хотела сказать, I would like to add that we have...
I see 44 questions in the chat.
I just want to say that we have participants from Uganda, Madagascar, Ghana, India, Cameroon, Mozambique, Kenya, St. Petersburg,
Algiers,
Tunis, Algiers, and Zambia, and Tanzania. So I can see also a lot of our friends from previous projects. We send greetings to all of you. Thank you for joining this webinar. Thank you for your
well, perhaps I may answer some questions in the chat, because yes, there are some from Abiolag. As a software engineering student in my country, is it possible for me to secure a job in the Russian Federation, either remotely or in office? Well, it is, as far as I see, the question does not have anything in common with education, but with job. I'm not eligible to answer this question, for I don't know. Certainly, you may find any opportunities in having a job in Russia. Just search certain sites, certain offers, perhaps. Well, but I don't have anything to say on this. How do you see moving to Russia for study or job during sanctions? Sanctions don't matter at all. Just what can prevent you from coming to Russia? Do sanctions have anything in common with the border crossing with Russian Federation? Well, we don't have any problem with sanctions. So come here and you will see it with your own eyes. Well, perhaps there can be some difficulties in finding direct air flights from your country to Russia. But as far as I know, I've been for just traveling for somehow not so long ago to Zimbabwe. It was an Ethiopian Airlines through Addis Abeba, as far as I remember. No problem at all. Well, is there any institute education funded by the government? Well, in Russia, we have more than 700 universities which are report to the government. Just government universities, but as I said, if you choose the way to apply for the university through this website, you may win the tuition-free education. But in other ways, you can study for your money or fee-paying courses. You may take fee-paying courses, and it doesn't matter which university it is, whether it is government university or non-government university. But there is one principal point that you should bear it in mind. Sometimes it may be a problem with visa processing, with prolongation in Russia if you choose non-government university. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes, and it should be remembered. Well, я уже на третьем курсе на русском хочу продолжать в России. Я не знаю, тут вопрос на русском, я на русском отвечу. Да? Вот, ну, бога ради, то есть третий курс на русском языке, то есть вам еще год учиться, вы можете закончить бакалавриат, дальше пойти в магистратуру любую, да, сказать, продолжить обучение, потом аспирантура, тут масса возможностей продолжать обучение в России, еще несколько лет, поэтому здесь как таковых проблем-то, в общем-то, нет. How about courses online? How about short-time courses and the possibilities to have 3 or 6 months practice in Russian enterprises? If you have online courses living in your country without coming to Russia, it is very hard to find placement in Russian enterprises for practice. I'm not sure, but you just should explore particular offers that are provided by universities, by other institutions. As to short-time courses, it depends on the profile of courses. For instance, our institute, Pushkin Institute, offers Russian language courses both online and offline, and you may explore the options in our website, and just no problem. Well, anything else? A possibility studying in English language in pharmaceutics. Just search the options that are given in this website through the programs and universities. There are some programs in medicine and perhaps pharmaceutics in the English language, but they are not master's degree. Well, there are some pro-English language master's programs in Russia in this, and you just should search the internet in this case. Саманта в Уганде, городе, имеют ли преимущество абитуриенты, знающие при поступлении на бюджет? Ну, здесь, смотрите, преимущества как таковых особых нет. Единственное, главное преимущество, вы сэкономите год. Если вы знаете русский язык и поступаете по квоте, да, на бюджет, то, естественно, так сказать, вам не надо будет идти на подготовительный факультет, тем самым вы сразу зачисляетесь на первый курс и спокойно учитесь. То есть вы экономите год как минимум. Вот. Основные, так сказать, конкурентные преимущества, которые для абитуриента, это, естественно, его хорошие, так сказать, документы об образовании с хорошими оценками, его мотивационное письмо, его там всякого рода дополнительные, так сказать, бонусы, которые он загружает на портал, грамоты, олимпиады, если, так сказать, есть у вас там если вы победитель каких-либо олимпиад. Вот все, что у вас есть, все, что подчеркивает вашу конкурентоспособность, преимущество, точнее, конкурентное, вы все должны загрузить на портал. То есть там, когда идет оценка, первая оценка проводится Россотрудничеством, представителями Россотрудничества, там участвуют в комиссии представители университетов, и они отбирают заявки, которые, так сказать, достойны, на их взгляд. И поэтому любое знание русского языка — это тоже одно из преимуществ, конечно. Так, что еще интересно? Вопросы здесь какие? Вопросы. Is it possible to request funding from Russian Research Institute while doing research here in Madagascar? Ну, что касается, concerning research funding, well, it's difficult questions. It's just beyond my competences in this case. As far as I know, there are some options for getting research funding for Russian scientists. There are several foundations in Russia that provide this funding, but I'm not sure for foreign researchers is it possible to get Russian funding for their research without being Russian citizen. I'm asking for about short-term learning and online learning. Well, I have already said about short-time courses and online courses, many options in Russia. Many universities provide these courses, and if you search the internet, you may find anything you wish. And it depends on what particular sphere, what particular subjects, or what particular courses you need. Well, perhaps that's all.
Thank you very much, Юрий Викторович, for your answers. So just to sum up, you first go to the website and apply for Russian universities. And
I'll show it once again, just for everybody to put down the URL address. Just a moment, I will open it. Well, educationinrussia.com. Well, this is the website you are to first go to apply for universities, Russian universities. Once again, multilingual options to work with this site. Information concerning whichever question you may have. How to choose a career path, which universities are there offered in this website, which are the programs, etc. Some information concerning life in Russia, very important. Student visa registration, health insurance, etc., etc. How to enroll, all steps described here. This is a very useful and helpful website for you to start with your application process. Not only to start with, but to go on with and to finish up with.
Юрий Викторович, спасибо большое. То есть не учитывается знание русского языка, а учитываются достижения студентов во время их учебы.
Да, да, самое главное достижение, потому что русский язык они могут выбрать опцию подготовительного факультета и, сказать, галочку поставить, и их, собственно говоря, направят. То есть он основное образование может выбрать, допустим, там, я не знаю, РУДН, да, университет дружбы народов, а на подфак его направят к нам, он будет у нас русскому языку обучаться год, а потом пойдет на основную программу туда. То есть русский язык, конечно, желательно, но это не главное. Главное это какие, то есть у него хороший диплом, хороший аттестат, точнее, да, у него там грамоты всякие, у него там он участник Олимпиады, если он по русскому языке, или там по специальности какие-то достижения есть личные, да, то есть вот это вот оценивается сказать, в ходе работы вот этих совместных комиссий, сотрудничества и университетов.
Thank you very much for your answers. I just would like to say that tomorrow is our next webinar with Pushkin Institute, and we are going to speak about the sources for students and for teachers to study Russian languages. So thank you very much for your time. See you tomorrow.